Greetings. In this video, we're going to have a look at additional setup steps for your bright and shiny new CRM. So one of the first things we're going to have a look at is in the marketing area here, we have something called web forms. So what this allows you to do is build a form inside of CRM using fields from different areas and then go and post that form online. So what that means is that anybody that enters data into that form, that data is going to come straight into CRM and create the types of records that you specify. So as an example, let's have a look at our Contact Us page on the Toolemu website. So we have a form here. This form was built inside CRM. The code was copied and pasted into the site so that anyone who enters information into this form, it comes straight into CRM. So that means no manual data entry. That means the system can run 24/7 without any human intervention. So what you can do is basically go and set up web forms for different purposes. So we cover that in more detail in the marketing session if you'd like to have a look at that. But basically, here's a contact us form that I've prepared earlier. So what I can do is drag and drop fields from different areas in CRM, choose where I'd like to link this web form to. So what sort of record do I want to create? Drag and drop my fields onto the form. I can then go and preview the form and test that it works and basically have it play around with it. When I'm happy for that to be sent live, I can click here, copy this code, go and add it to my site, and I'm off and running. So what I can also do is set up an email template so that anyone that fills in that form automatically gets an email notification. So again, that can run 24/7. So you can set up an email saying, hey, thanks for your inquiry. We'll be in touch. We can also choose who gets notified. So which teams and users in CRM get notified when somebody fills in a form. We can also add people that fill in forms directly to marketing lists inside CRM. So we can go and pick from existing lists and say, right, anyone who fills in this form, let's automatically go and add them to our newsletter list. So well worth taking the time to go and set up at least a basic web form for your Contact Us page. What we're going to look at now is the range of other integrations and services that you can connect to your database. So coming into the admin area, we're going to come into integrations. Now, this is going to be slightly different for everybody depending on how you use CRM and what other services you're using. So you can see across the top here, we've broken down the services into different areas. So by now you should have connected your accounting system. You should also have your emails set up so that they're going to send out using your own domain. Don't forget, you can also download the Inbox Insights program if you're in a Windows environment. That will link Microsoft Outlook up to CRM so that you can also push data in that way. Down here, you can see we can integrate with either MailChimp or Campaign Monitor. So what that's going to do is pull through your subscribers, your campaigns, your list, your audiences, etc. into CRM. So we can then sync data on a regular basis with one of these two services. If you'd like to be able to send SMS out of CRM, you'll need an account with Burst SMS first, connect that to CRM, and then anywhere that you see these SMS buttons, you can now send them directly out of the system. On the e-commerce front, we can connect with multiple WooCommerce carts, and you can also go and configure your customer portal from here. So Customer Portal is a Toolemu product. So in here, we can click on settings to go and configure your portal. So the idea is you set up a portal, you can set that up with a custom domain if you'd like to. We select the branding for the portal and we decide what people can do from there. We then go and give customers logins to it so that they can hop in and see their invoices, pay their invoices. They can also use it as an online cart. So let's go and have a look at one I have prepared a little bit earlier. So clicking here, I'll log into an example of customer portal that I've built, but you can see that it's branded as per my specifications. I can choose what people can do and how they can interact with it here. So can they go and order products from me? Can they see stock levels? So customers can get logins, basically go and click on a product, go and add that to the cart. They can ask for a quote request, they can keep shopping and you'll see the cart up in the top right hand corner, or they can go and place the order. So if they place the order and you've got a payment gateway connected that we'll look at in a second, they can basically have that order come straight into CRM and they can also go and pay for it on the spot. When it comes to end of month, customers can also go and access their invoices here. And again, if you've got the payment gateway connected, they can also go and pay their invoices from here as well. So you can configure how that looks, feels, and behaves from this area here, and then go and start inviting customers to access your portal. So coming back in, if we move into the payments area, so we've got three different payment gateways that we can integrate with. So what that means is every day you're still going to have your payments go into your accounting system, and we're going to be syncing those across to CRM so that they can match up with invoices and mark them off as paid. What we can also do is take payments inside of CRM. So as we just saw, that can be done via customer portal. What you can also do is using web templates, we can send out quotes to customers that they can accept online and then basically be taken straight through to a payment stage. So if I click here to open up a web quote, so we've got the pictures there, I can say, yes, I accept this quote. I'll add a signature into the system, got my purchase order number. I can then hit accept, and I'm going to be taken through to a payment screen where I can plug in my details. Also, no, I'd like an invoice. So if you've got a payment gateway, you're going to be able to do that. There's also a button on web invoices where people can click there and then also go and pay an invoice online. So you can store credit card details securely in a PCI compliant way with eWay and Stripe, have those in the system and then go and charge invoices to that in future. We've also got some auto billing features associated with subscriptions inside of this sales area here. So you can again use the payment gateways with that as well. On the freight side, if you're doing a lot of shipping, you can integrate with MacShip. So they basically go and take all the providers that you're working with and all the rates that you have with them and funnel that information into CRM via the integration. So what that means is you can now do live freight quoting inside CRM in this sales area over here. So you can conduct your quotes in here rather than having to go and log into a couple of different provider websites. What you can also do on shipments is basically click to create a consignment. So that information goes via MacShip and back to the provider. So you can basically lodge that electronically from CRM, again, without having to go and jump through a couple of different hoops with different provider sites. We can also integrate with a couple of different VoIP phone providers. So what that means is you can have your calls logged, incoming and outgoing inside CRM. We've also got a little CTI client that you can download in Windows that sits in your system tray and basically pops up whenever there's a phone call. So what that does is looks up CRM for a match for the phone number. If it can find it, it'll display you the contact and the company that they're calling from, if applicable, and then you can click on that and open their record quickly. So you can set that up and then go and link user extensions to the phone system so that all that can be tracked inside CRM. So depending on how you're going to use CRM, there's a range of different integrations that you can come and set up here. Coming back to the all page, you can see available integrations just shows us everything. We can then break it down by these categories. And once we've started to connect services, we can click on active integrations to see what we've got connected to the system. So what we're going to look at now is customizing different types of templates in the system. So if we come into this admin area here, you should already have done your web templates in this web settings area. If we now move down to the area below it in templates and click to expand it, you can see I've got email templates, SMS templates, quote form templates, PDF templates, and letter templates. So a range of different templates that we can go and configure in here. So when you're sending emails from around the system, so you can see here, I'm in a quote, I've got the email button, I can click here and I can go and choose from templates in the system. So it's the same if I click on the SMS button, I can go and pick a template. Now the benefit of this is that obviously if you're working in CRM anyway, it's quick and it's easy because you're already in the system. The other thing is that we can merge in information from records in CRMs so that it automatically populates into the email or the SMS. So you can see in this SMS example here, I'm automatically going to pull through the account name. I'm going to pull through the quote number, the online link to access that from a mobile device, and some other text in here as well. So what we can do is set up email and SMS templates and link them to different areas of CRM. So if I click here to create a new email template, I can give it a name. So I can basically call this my quote email. I can also give it a description. So if I've got a lot of templates in the system, I can quickly differentiate between them. And then in this source name, this is the area of CRM that I'd like to link the template to. So in this case, I'd like to have it available in a quote, and I'll click here. I can also go and select a default sender. So when it comes time to send the email, I can change that if I want to. I can also leave this blank, but I can go and set it up here. So what I can do is pick from individuals that are licensed in the system and send the email from them. If I've set up teams that have email addresses linked to them, I can also go and pick, say, the finance team, and it will go and send the email from there. So I can type in my subject. So I'll pop in your quote, and then I can start building the body of my email. So I've got full editing capabilities across here with this bar, so I can play with fonts and sizes and colors and bullet points, insert pictures and hyperlinks, etc., all that sort of thing. And then what I can do to access the merge codes is, depending on the source that I've linked it to, once I've linked it to a quote, I can click here and the merge codes are displayed on a new page. So all I need to do is then go and copy and paste different merge codes into the email. So it's as simple as saying, hi there, please see attached your quote, and then I'll insert the number there. So you can basically go and find different fields that you'd like to pull through, copy and paste them, and pop them into the email body. So when it comes to creating a signature, what you'll probably want to do is not go and create an email signature for every single user in the system. There's a quick way of setting this up. So next to the sender here, I can also click and reveal merge codes for the sender of the email. So users in the system all have a contact inside CRM. So in that contact is stored information about their mobile, their phone, their job description, their LinkedIn, their Twitter account, etc. So we can use the same principle and use merge codes to pull through information for the sender. So no matter who sends the email, we can basically go and pull through their details so that that's automatically going to merge in here. So what you'll need to do to make sure that's working properly is obviously go and throw in the merge codes that you want to use, like their email, their phone, their mobile, whatever their job description is. And then in CRM, come into this contacts area here. So all of the users have a contact record here. So what you can do is go and add a column to your view called employee. So if you haven't done that before, you can click on this little gear icon next to any of these column names, go and choose a column and go and add the employee column. What we then want to do is click on the funnel icon and say that equals true. So this is showing me all the employees in the system who are users or are linked to the company. So what I can then do is click on one of these to open it and go, right, well, I've got a first name and a last name, but I don't have a mobile number, I don't have Twitter, I also don't have a position description. So you can edit the contact and go and add in those details so that then if that person is the sender of the email, we can merge that information through. So once I'm done, I can click on Save and Close, and that email template is now going to be available to use from quotes inside of CRM. So moving into SMS templates, it's pretty much exactly the same. So we click to create a new template, give it a name and a description. We go and link it to a source in the system. So I could go and link that to a quote again, and I can give it a subject for internal reference. And over here, I can click on the little envelope to bring up the merge codes that I can go and pull in. So very, very similar to the email, except because of the nature of SMS, we've got less characters to work with. We don't have the formatting toolbar, but we can go and follow the same principles to set those up in the system. Now, just underneath SMS templates, we've got this area here called quote form templates. So you'll by now know that we have a couple of different quote templates in the system. So we've got a web quote template, we've got a PDF template, an email template, and an SMS template that we can set. So quote form template means the form inside of CRM. So let's take a look at how that works. So I've got a lot going on. I'm just going to close a couple of tabs here. So if I come into the quotes area here, I can click on new quote and create a new quote. So this basically gives me a blank form that I can then populate with details. What I can also do is go and create a quote using an existing template that I've set up with a form in CRM. So what this is useful for is if you have really long quotes or packages of items that you would frequently quote, we can go and pre-format a form. So I can click here on quote from template. I've got existing templates set up in the system. So I'll pick my service package here, click OK, and it's brought up a quote, but it's now been pre-populated with details that I've specified earlier. So I can go and pick which template I want to use, what the payment terms are, where I'm selling from, add my items, change my pricing, my quantities, put in notes, change formatting, etc., and basically use this instead of starting from scratch. So to create a quote form template, there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. So we can go and click on an existing quote and just go, look, that's a cracking example of what we do 80% of the time. So we can open that up, click on the copy button here and go copy as a template, and then turn that into a quote form template. You can also see that we've got the ability to copy quotes as well. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is to come into quote form templates here and click on a new quote template and then basically go and build it here. So you can see I've got a number of different quote form templates in the system so that anytime I go to do a quote, I can select any of these as my starting point rather than going from scratch. Underneath quote form templates, we've got PDF templates. So there's a range of PDF templates all over CRM. So what we do is we give you the ability to go and customize invoice, purchase order, quote, and sales order PDF templates. So how that works is by downloading a Word document that's full of merge codes for CRM data. So we'll give you a starting document that's populated with codes. You can then, similar to what we did with the email templates and the SMS template, once I've picked a source, I can click here and I can access more codes. So in that Word document, I can go and add and remove codes. I can change fonts, formatting, sizes, layouts, all that sort of thing, save my Word document, and then come and upload it into the system. So that means that I can go and customize my own templates. I can also have multiple different types of templates for the same area. So you can see here, I've got about 4 invoice templates and a couple of different quote ones. So you can come and customize these PDF templates in your system. So we spoke before about integrating with MacShip. Even if you don't have that integration, we can come down to the courier settings area in admin and pop in some basic details to help us sort of manually look after freight and shipping inside of CRM. So clicking on this couriers area here, if you're connected with MacShip, that's going to bring through all your providers. What you can also do is just manually go and add a new courier to the list, also specify a default if you'd like to. Once you've got the couriers in here, there's a services section underneath it, so we can go and add in the types of services that that particular courier offers. So I can pop in the service name and say that this is the courier that provides it. What I can then do with that information is on sales orders and outbound shipments. So what we'll do is we'll just hop into the sales area here and bring up a new order. So clicking here, you can see that we've got a couple of different fields to do with shipping. So we can then go and pick from those couriers that we had on the list, and then we can go and pick a service that we're using. We can throw in a tracking number and a con note number, and we've got these same fields on our outbound shipments as well. So it just means that we can throw those details into the system so that we can then sort our orders by which company we're using, what service we're using, and then in our outbound shipments area, we can do the same and also see the status of those shipments. So is it to be picked? Is it shipped? Is it packed? We can basically go and sort through here. So you can go and add those into your system manually so that you can use them in sales orders and outbound shipments. So coming down a little bit further, if you're going to be using jobs in the operations area of CRM up here, you're probably going to want to go and set up service report templates. So jobs are for on-site servicing. So what this allows you to do is set up different tasks that you would perform in that servicing so that we can enter information into CRM via drop-down list, tick boxes, text boxes, etc., and then spit all of that out into a PDF that we can email to the customer afterwards. So the best analogy for that is when you go and take your car for a service, they give you a couple of bits of paper afterwards saying, we checked this, we did this, that looked a little bit dodgy, come and see us in another 6 months. So you can basically put your custom process on site into a template so that service people can then fill that in with information and give the customer a PDF copy of that. So we've got a specific guide on how to set up those service report templates. Coming down a little bit further, we've also got this area that is relatively new called custom fields. So what this means is if you'd like to capture information inside CRM, but there's not currently a field to put that in, you can go and make one. So these are all the forms available to customize. So what we can do is click on the company form, for example, and say, okay, I'd like a new date field on here, and I'd maybe like to call that initial contact date. I can also specify whether fields are required, whether they're read-only. I can specify default values as well, and I can basically save that onto the form and then go and push that to the form live. So I've got a range of different types of fields that I can go and drag and drop onto the form and rename them and configure how they behave. So if there's custom information that you want to gather, this is a good way of going and throwing those fields into the system so that you can then go and capture that information. What we've also got below custom fields is this area called brand customization. Now, if we come back and look at an online quote as an example, so I'll click here and I'm going to go and open up the web version. So what you can see in the URL here is I've got webquotes.torlemu.com. So that's the default. If you'd like to use your own domain instead, what you can do is come into this brand customization area, say, yes, I want to use my own domain, pop that through and validate it so that you can basically customize the URL with your own domain in this area here. So that's the end of the additional setup steps for your new CRM database. If you haven't already watched the first video on the key setup steps, I'd recommend that you do so. And between those two videos, they should be in assistance in getting you up and running quickly with your brand new database.